You too. What I want to point out is that I just met you 39 minutes ago. We shrank time in a record time to nothing, just talking and diving really fast. But what actually happened, I don't know you, you don't know me. What I had was entire massive fire. I was actually cooking internally and I was getting hot, meaning there was a massive amount of energy passing through my body. And
Mm.
this to me, I couldn't even take it anymore. I had to go and change and I had to grab it and record it. So that way it actually creates, hopefully, it creates the transference of the energy. And when you and I were just talking for the last 40 minutes, Mario was related to the unknown, so big, so vast, so spaceful, but yet empty inside, that was almost almost felt like we can get lost as if we are meditating into and entering into the space of the meditative states of consciousness, but we were very much aware, eyed open, conscious about what is happening and far we can go. So I just wanted to, like, thank you for pausing for a minute because I wanted to grab it on the camera. This is beautiful. And I want to welcome
Mm.
you. We don't know how long we're going to talk, but there's a sense that this is just going to drive its own way some places. How do you feel? How do you feel after just like 40 minutes of us on a hello diving in real fast? What just happened? Maybe you can
Mm.
tell me that.
I I feel at home. Like I don't feel something somewhere. I just here. Like I don't feel more than that. I just feel here. If that makes sense. I don't feel like I have to feel something. I don't
Mm.
feel like I'm trying to feel something or like I am feeling something. I just feel like I am. That's it.
Mm.
It just feels nice. Kind of feels like a warm bath or something. I'm just I'm just feeling. I'm just here. I'm just allowing that to I'm just allowing that, whatever that is, just to be. So I
To
do
be.
really like how you said, like, even though that 40 minutes, let's say, apparently passed, it felt like it didn't pass in a sense, or a shortened period of time. And you used the word meditation, and I just love to just because I think there is like a misrepresentation of the word meditation, as
Mm.
if it's uh, seclusive for monks on top of a mountain and you know in the jungle somewhere, and they sit still and they do nothing. Like that's the only way to. It's not like meditation to me. Well, I'll just say just for me, anyways, is that anything becomes the main focal point, right? It just so happens that with monks, they choose breathing. Like for me, I call it active meditation because when I'm in the gym, let's say, and I'm doing like a bicep, and I'm like all of my focus, all of my attention, all my processing power, everything goes to a singular moment, a singular feeling, a singular sensation. And then I get so focused on like I'm not thinking about bills. I'm not thinking about what this person said. I'm not even thinking about the things I talk about myself. I'm just so focused on the sensation of something that
Mm.
everything else seems to dissolve. And I'm just there in that moment with that particular thing. And to me,
Hmm.
that's all meditation is. It's just when I can be meditative with you and just I get so focused on the conversation with you, like the feeling of the voice, your voice entering my ears and the vibration of that, and I'm just so in that, and then I'm just like, oh, like some time passes and I wake up and I'm like, what? Oh, 40 minutes. Like what where did where did I go?
Yes.
So
I
to
100%
me,
agree with you.
yeah.
As if like we were just talking earlier how much of our awareness and capacity for awareness to hold such used to be called irrational. Like
Mm,
it's irrationality, but art came out of irrationality. Any art
Mm,
form comes out of total chaos where nothing is linear and structured and boxed, right? So when entering such space of chaos rather than order, yes,
mhm,
we have the capacity to also make an order of it, but it feels like when we enter that space of possibilities or a chaos or just a
mm,
creation or nothing and accept it as is, we can take much larger space and our capacity almost really
mm,
just expands. You feel the expansion the same way like universal expansion of the cosmos is happening naturally. So I love that you touched base on meditation doesn't need to be just one way of meditating. And I think a lot of people know that they can use the different techniques for meditating, but also you can be active, conscious, aware, and still process it in the moment of your embodied moment. So what you said is like, I feel this in my body. I have a sensation that is passing through
mm,
my ear, passing through my muscle, through my palm. It's like I'm actively participating in what is
mm,
happening in that moment. So the meditation is in many ways just active participation and observation of what is happening in a multi point, right? So it's almost like, oh, this is now you're right. So the overall process is very multi-pointed. There's so many
mm.
things you can actively participate all at the same time. And isn't this insane human capacity?
Isn't
This
that
to
fun?
me, this is we're superhumans.
Mm,
Superhumans. We have so many skills that we can use through that awareness, through evolution of our consciousness anyway. Tomorrow new, tomorrow new. My question to you is this is happening real fast, as if we are on a race to evolve real fast. Do you have
mm,
that sense in the body that we, together with the environment that we're in, together with what we actually see, feel, and are aware of, is expanding faster? Hence, you and I both agree that the concept of time is just now, right? So nothing
mhm,
else is existent. But do you have a sense that evolution is happening in general faster?
mm. Can I play with it?
Yeah, let's go.
Can we have some fun with it?
Yeah.
Let's let's do the reverse. So we're not evolving, we're de-evolving,
Mm.
right? Instead of we have more access to things than ever before. For me, I like laptops, cell phones, cars, planes, boats. There's more access to things. So it looks like we're expanding or evolving because there's more things. But to me, it's only when I let go of things do I become the most. So to
Hmm.
me, we're de-evolving. Right? I don't need more to be more. I need less to be more. And
But you're
so
talking
for
material versus non-material, right?
we'll mix them back. I'll run it back if you want.
Okay.
But first, yeah, we're looking at the expanding. If you're saying the universe as a materialistic thing, like it's a thing, then the more things that come up, yes, the more it seems like the more space is it's expanding because there needs more space, more things are being created, more things are happening, and when you, I don't know how many things you could ever, if all the things could ever all ever be, and they're right there in front of me. How am I going to use it all? Like, how can I can't do, I can only do a singular thing at a time. Like to me, that's the gift I've been given.
Mm.
It's so I have I don't know if you, some people say universe, some people say, I say God. I just like the word because it resonates
Mm.
with me.
Mm.
my relationship with God, and it's going to run perfect into this analogy. My relationship with God is my relationship with my breathing. So if I want to, I can take control. I can breathe fast, or I can breathe slow, or I can hold my breath. I can do whatever I want. But when I'm doing that, I can't do all these other things in life.
Mm.
I can't drive the car. I can't you do all. But if I want to do something else, like let's say I want to focus on you, right? I wanna be more attentive and I want to experience you. Then I stop thinking about breathing. That doesn't mean I stop breathing. It means my body has my back.
Mm.
So that's my relationship with the universe or relationship with God, is that I've been given the gift that I can focus on one thing. I don't know about you, but like it's really hard to change my habits and patterns. And it took me years and years to heal like a certain little thing, let alone all my things. So focusing on one thing is the gift. It's the gift that I'm God's like, hey, here, look, I'm just gonna let you do one thing. That's gonna be for you. And don't worry about everything else, right?
Mm.
I'll take care of it. It's not gonna go where, it's not gonna run away. My issues don't leave and just be like, oh, he's not thinking about me. Let's right? They'll everything will take care of itself. But that's the gift. So if the universe is expanding and there's more and more things coming into play, more and more things, I can only use one particular thing at a time, anyways. It's not that we have a lack of tools or a lack of things. It's just the understanding that I am the singular thing,
Mm.
experiencing whatever the vastness is through the singular thing at a time. So
Mm.
whatever tools it is, these are just tools for you to experience a particular section or part of yourself. Like, because who Mario truly is behind all this is so vast that I can't experience him like a second at a time. There's too many things. There's too
Mm.
many parts of myself. I'm too vast. So just one thing at a time. So it just so happens that, oh, hey, the cell phone, I can have a singular call at a time. If we throw 50, 60, 70 people and everyone's talking, who are you going to hear? Nobody.
Mm.
You just hear noise. All right. So
Mm.
if expansion is more, then I'm going to be flushed out in that
Mm.
moreness. Right. So the universe can expand. That's wonderful. It's just a reflection of how expansive I am anyways, and how expansive you are.
Mm.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, your true, everyone, you, you can debate these things because we're using language. Language has structure and everything is falling within the limitations in that structure. So we can debate all the words we want, right? But if you said to me, you don't exist or you do exist, there's no way that I could, right? And I could say the same thing. I don't exist, you could exist. There's no way to prove that I know. I can't be like, okay, look, can you pick this thought up? No, you're like, a thought's not a thing.
Well, let me
Okay,
give you a different perspective.
here's an emotion. Can you pick up the emotion?
Mm.
No, but I know that they're there. So how can I prove it? I can't prove it because it's not a thing. You're asking me to take something that's non-existent, a non-thing, and convert it into a thing, which wonderful. All right, art. You can
Mm.
say things
Mm.
like that. Okay, art, but that's the picture frame. That's not my actual emotion. My emotion is expressed through the things. That's what the things are for. So if we're expanding, there's an experience within myself that I want to feel. I want to feel my own expansionness. That's what
Mm.
that is happening for, a reflection of that.
Mm. And you're saying through that expansion, you can focus on a single point at the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And let me give you a different perspective. So this is really cool because what you're saying is that this is your experience of it, right? So you're almost describing how you experience your own expression of evolution within,
Mhm.
right? So you can focus here, you can focus there, you can focus there. It's to me, how I perceive this and how I receive this from you is almost like you have the skill of the conscious mind awareness that can focus on these points. And either it's material or in the head, in the mind, non-material. One or the other way, the single point is how you feel and you process your embodied experience. But I'm going to just add you one thing. What's beautiful is
Yes.
that you are aware of this. And at the
Hmm.
same time, at the exact same time, when you're aware of breathing in and breathing
Hmm.
out, and almost like forcing the breath out and actually being aware because you can control it, your heart is beating and your blood is also moving, which is involuntary and totally unconscious. And what I'm adding as a layer is almost like, oh, while we are aware of one thing, there's so
Hmm.
many more happening at the same time that we can, I believe we can be aware of. We don't have to action upon it. And when the mind is used as a tool to a single point, that's where the power stays. Meaning where if we are able to collect this amount of possibilities in our mind that are just living in a chaos or their past life,
Hmm.
whatever, everywhere. They're everywhere other than in the present moment, and almost like zoom it in into the exact power of like control is not really a nice word to say it, but almost like zoomed in precise. Zoomed in precise to what you decide you
Hmm.
want, you desire it to be, then you are almost taking entire existence of your mind into a single point, which is so powerful. But at the same time, and here's one idea. I'm just going to give you the idea, which I think is so cool. I discovered this through Vipassana. Have you done Vipassana before?
I'm not sure what that is.
Vipassana is just a technique of meditation, but in this technique, you become aware of your inner
Okay.
minds, and you kind of we touched base on this earlier as well. It's like you kind of almost edge yourself to feel crazy because there's so much going on here, and you just observe and you don't react to it. But your mind can come from here, and you can focus your mind on the third eye, on the top of the
Hmm.
nose, on the shoulder. And when you close your senses and you're just sitting in a meditative state, you can move
Hmm.
your mind from point to point, right? And
Hmm.
then when you're moving your mind to shoulder and you're coming it back down to the elbow, and you're literally just saying, mind, move here, move here, move here. But at the same time, you
Hmm.
can come from here and split your mind in 2 points.
Mm.
You can actually split yourself in 2 points, and you can be like, my mind can actually be embodied in two spots at the same time. This is
Mhm.
where I challenge the multi-layerness of us and multi almost superpower to multiply the same way like we multiply our thoughts and multiply our possibilities, multiply, we're always going to crave something. You're absolutely right, we're always going to create something, but the multiplication of awareness is the
Mm.
next level of, oh my God, I am aware that I'm not only breathing, evolving, and experiencing something, but I'm also aware that I might be actually outside of myself. My soul can exit my body, my energy can feel here. I
Mhm.
can I can feel my edges of my skin, but I'm also feeling something inside. And there is plus on the top of everything. There's this knowing that I don't know where is it coming from. I just know what I know.
Mm.
And I know in a hallway, dark hallway with the 7 doors, I know exactly which one not to enter.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, we are superhumans.
Mhm.
And it's this machine of ours. This is almost like a high, precise, powerful intelligence that we have in our mind, it
Mm.
plus in our heart, plus in our belly, plus in our energy, plus in our aura, plus in our spirit. Keep going. There's so
Mm.
much of us. That to me is evolution, awareness that I'm now
Mm.
multi-layered, that I'm just not my mind any longer. I am not my voice. I am so much more.
Mm.
Thoughts.
That to me is that's intelligence having fun. Like divine intelligence, if you want to call it that. It's just because I've hit those each one, and then it's like, oh, there's another thing, and there's another thing. So like, were these always like, did they exist outside or did I create them to exist into it? Like, do I create something and I'm existing into what I'm creating at the same time? So
Hmm.
whatever the dimension is, whatever you could ever possibly perceive, the reason why the possibilities are endless is not because, or it's not just because that they're all there existing all at the same time. It's that they can exist because I can make them exist. I'm like the creator and the tool. So I'm
Hmm.
I'm literally making my life not from life, but from myself. I am the essence. I am everything. And then from that very first, so if you have a hammer, like a hammer was a resource before it was ever a tool. So in the beginning of all the beginnings that it could ever been beginning, there was just resource. And then
Hmm.
from that resource, there was a tool that was made. You could have said, I am. All these things can be debated because once the language comes in, we can have, to me, that's just having fun, right?
Hmm.
But everything comes from a resource. So there's just resource. It was just untapped. We were just pure, untapped energy or soul, whatever really gets you going, right? But it was some resource, and we created everything from that, of that, for that.
Hmm.
So that's when I make something new or there's another level, it's not that it's the thing might not be necessarily just there. The resource of it is there. And then I create it and I live into it. And I can do that as far as I want to expand myself.
Hmm.
As infinitely, or not as far, but as in inclusive or inward that I wanna I want to go. Like I can start taking away layers. And then there's nothing, and I can take away nothingness. What's after that one? And I'm creating it. I'm creating it. That's to me, that's the fun part. Like once you break free of limitations having to be limitations, and then limitations becoming a tool for you, I'm not confined by limitations anymore. I'm utilizing them. And so therefore, I'm not limited by limitations, whatever those are. If it's an idea, if it's an identity, those are all tools. And now I can create something more from my limitations. So I'm basically limitless in my limitations. And now I'm like, yeah, like this is exciting. Like, what are you
Yeah.
making? What are you making in your universe? Oh, you made, oh, that is wild. Oh my gosh. Can I show you hop over my universe real quick? And you're like, oh, you created love over in yours? Okay, let me add some more love in mine. And then you start adding a whole new color palette to yours. And I look at you, oh, did you mix compassion and understanding? How did you even figure that? Let me go. And then it's playful now.
Mm.
This is just, we're both just divine intelligence having this really playful, creative conversation. And like, let's see what we could make from this.
Mm.
Gets
I,
exciting.
and I also love because you're almost like when you speak of it, there's like this sense. And again, you remember how I was asking, it's like, how do you know this is true for you and that you're not crazy? Because the mind can get you crazy too. And you can also, levitate and go so far that the earth life doesn't feel like earth any longer or like embodied experience. But it's almost like you're combining this and you're entering into the body and then you're feeling this. So, how do I know something is true to me? Some experience is true. I can say it's true or I can
Mhm.
feel it's true. And if I say it's true, is it because I am falling into some box of standardized, institutionalized, or traditional way of knowing the past?
Mhm.
Or if I embody it, so how do I know this speaks truth to me? So when you're what you're explaining is almost like there's this like texture of yeah, I can create in my mind, but I can also decide to embody this way of living, meaning this way of
Mhm.
thinking, which now becomes my life. And change your thoughts, life changes. Easy said than done. That's that way of I'm gonna create my own metaverse and I'm going to
Mhm.
actually live it. So my vocabulary and my library of my words changes completely. And not only words, thoughts, but not only thoughts, experiences of vision inside my mind, of auditory experience, everything will change. And I have that capacity to now create something totally different so that I can embody it and live it. Do you have this experience of changing your mindsets, changing your vocabulary and the way you think, speak, that changed your experiential life, like how you experience life? Where was this from here to body to life experience? When did this happen? And do you have the
Mhm.
example of it?
First off, wow, wonderful question. I can tell that the depth of your questions are not within the question, it's within yourself. Like this is not just a question, this is an experience that you went in within yourself. Like you've had this with yourself and you've gone there with yourself. It's not just a random question. It's
Mm-hmm.
an experience that's you you formulated your experience that you had internally into a structure of words, right? So one, wow, I love the depth that you've managed to to soak within yourself. And then two, yes. So when you say things like, how do you know? Like, let's just take that question. How do you know? Is it a question? Yes. So then where did the question come from? I didn't pick it up. I didn't go somewhere. I didn't go to the question store. I didn't buy it. I created the question. So then if I have the power to create the question, I equally have the power to create the answer. And so the only issue that gets us stuck is that we create an imbalance of power. Sometimes we believe the question more than we believe the answer. And so when we question something, the question is to deconstruct something. That's what questions do. They don't build something up, they break something down. And there's a purpose, right? You've had an answer that was given to you before, let's say, maybe from your parents, from your society, from whoever, I don't know. But you have an answer to something aside your mind. And then when you come up with a question, it's breaking the stability of the answer. Now, some people that really bothers them because they're once the stability goes, they start feeling uneasy and they're not comfortable with any instability at all. I just
Mm.
so happened that I was like, let's destroy this whole Mario image that I had. Like I started just once I got one question in, I started going. I was like, why this? But why that? But why? And I kept going deeper and deeper till like then I was just like, oh, like I'm the one who's making these questions, and I'm
Mhm.
also the one who's answering them. So I'm giving the power. I'm the power, which is the source of energy, and I'm putting it inside that question. Now, if I keep the question there in power, then I'm also going to stay in the instability of that question. Unless I bring up an answer, right, that has equal power or more, and then I stand on that answer.
Mm.
What happens is some of us get good at questioning or we get good at answering, and we think we know everything, or we think we don't know anything. When in reality, they're just both tools for you to create an experience. So if
Mm.
I want to experience something, it's going to be the answer. Now, if I want to change what I'm experiencing, I'm going to question that answer and then I create a new experience.
Mm. So you're ultimately pointing out that without the question, there's no answer. And the moment you start questioning, you're almost getting yourself into the battle. And because there's only one answer, there's only one
There,
answer. Well, let me ask,
there is neither.
let me ask you this, because both are right. There's no
Hmm.
answer and there's neither. So there's an answer and there's no answer. Both are right. So there's
Hmm.
neither. There's both and there's neither.
Yes.
Do we even have a choice then?
Ah, there is freedom of choice, but there's not freedom from choice. So like it's like saying, okay, the universe is infinite, and you're saying that's all there is infiniteness. There's not nothing more. What do you mean? There's there is no end to possibilities. There's nothing more than you can have than infiniteness. And you're saying that's all there is?
Mm,
You just, it's the issue is not the amount of something. The
mm,
issue is that you haven't gotten to a place within yourself where you've become a skilled creator. You haven't played with your own skill set of creation. These languages, these tools, anything like
mm,
feelings, all these things, they're all tools to create experiences. The people that are stuck, it just comes to a skill set issue. They're stuck
mm,
because they don't know how yet, or they're not willing to change tools, right? They're like,
mm,
no, the hammer must build everything,
mm,
even the
mm,
glass. You
mm,
mean no?
mm.
There's more tools than, yes, there's an infinite, whatever you want to make.
This reminded me of, we don't tell our heart to beat, but it's still beating. And if we were to start thinking about why is it beating? Can it beat faster? It doesn't change the fact that it's beating and its speed. So it's like it's gonna always do that. Us being conscious or not conscious, us sleeping or being awake, it does its own thing. It just
Mhm.
is. Right.
Mhm.
And this is that awareness of like there's inside of us, very good point that we have tools. We are this electromagnetic box that just has these frequencies and things are happening in our body and our heart. Like everything is radiating and
Mhm.
magnetizing. It's like has its own thing going on. And then we have the mind, which is equipped with, capacities to talk, which is our defense system. Either we
Mhm.
defend ourselves, right? Because we don't animals don't talk, but they also don't have that consciousness that we have evolved to that point where we get to exchange and we also get to use the tool. So, what's so powerful about it, how I believe, I actually not believe, but I think the mind is so powerful to create the new
Mhm.
ways, to almost use the imagination of to create the innocence, to bring us these qualities back that we're losing. And I'll tell you the
Mhm.
qualities. And we touched on that, which is why I wanted to start recording the quality of unconditionality, the quality of purity of love, the
Mhm.
quality of innocence, the quality of inspiration, the quality of innovation, invention,
Mhm.
not copy paste, but new, the quality of potential, of possibility, of a new renaissance, of something that is so impossible to experience now. And we're circling back to the universe and our galaxy moving away from the cluster of galaxies for some reason.
Mhm.
We participated in it actively. You and I are participating into the creative space where almost like we just created something out of
Instantly.
nothing, right? And into this creation, we felt freedom.
Mhm.
We knew it was there, but knowing is not really experiential. Knowing is just cold.
Mhm.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't take space. It doesn't, right? So it's just a tool, right on point. But it was also an experience of expansion. And how
Mhm.
I know this is true, and it's very different. And I just want to point out, it's like, it's very unique. People uniquely experience these things. It does not apply to everybody. So if you have the experience of that compass knowing that something just happened, something was
Mhm.
birthed, we might never know what it is. And we might never supposed to know exactly how we don't know that our heart is beating and what frequency is beating at and how fast it is and what is opening and what we don't know, but we are aware that it might be a possibility. So the embodied possibility for something new is a new skill. It's such a beautiful pure quality that it will never be able to place itself into the words, into the tools that we have,
Mhm.
as if it's only meant to be experienced when it comes and when it goes. It doesn't take the form, it can't be placed in the box, it cannot be defined, which means it requires the freedom of experience and freedom and space. And also, it's timeless. Doesn't have the end,
Mm.
doesn't start, doesn't end, doesn't go there. It doesn't have the color. It's almost impossible to envision into the senses that we have as a tool to use. But it's still a potential. It is still almost like, right? I believe, I will, and I am what I believe. And if I
Mm.
also have the mind that can believe that such things exist, because now I can experience myself lighter. I can experience that I'm floating in the space. I'm also experiencing the inspiration to create something like art and put it in a form, right? So these qualities come out of our mind, and they also come in double when we find this specific blend of energy, you and I, that happen to
Mhm.
cross paths. And when we blend in, we bring our seasoning to it that makes it even more rich. What are your thoughts about it?
Hmm. Let's see what. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the I think like to me like the defining thing like the defining word of that beautiful monologue is experience. So like what you experience is separate from the experience. What changes? What what is always changing, right? And I mean literally the what is the thing. So things change, right? So if you want to know like no, I can't I can't uh ever say, okay, I can say don't put your hand on a hot stove because it's hot. You know the words, but you don't know the experience of why I'm telling you that, right? So
Mhm.
I can't give you knowing. No one can really do that. So if I wanted you to know something, and like let's say I took away all my words and there's no way I can't talk to you, how could I get you to know something? Any guesses? Explain to me
Okay.
something without any words.
You have, so how I
Without any
understand.
words.
But you're okay, I get the point. But we have words. That's my point. And they can,
Words were created at some point.
right,
And
because we
there's lots
evolved
of
to that point.
words. We have lots of words, but how is there still miscommunication in meaning of something? Because the meaning comes from experience. So if I
Right.
want you to really know something, I don't tell you how to know. I
Yeah.
introduce you into the experience. So I don't say anything. If you're thirsty and I'm like, you should drink some water, and you're like, I'm not gonna drink water, blah, 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 then okay. But if I just have the water there in front of you, right? It's now in the vicinity of your experience. And if you drink it, you now understand, oh, I was thirsty. Or like I like this for like because I used to get hangry when I didn't have a certain amount of food. And then I had a very gracious partner at some point in time, and they just left the food there, and then they would walk away. And then I'd be doing my little thing, and I'd be like, oh, it's there, and I just I'm experiencing the smell, and I'm getting intrigued, and I'm like, okay, I'll just a quick little bite or something like that, da 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 da, and then I'm like, oh, that's so good, and then I eat the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy now, right? And then I walk off, and I go to the other room, I'm like, thank you so much. So there was no words that were no needed. There's no explanation, right, of knowing what love was in that moment. It was just
Mm,
here's the experience. So
yeah.
if you want someone to know something, like know it truly, not the knowledge of something, because knowledge is just information. Wisdom is the information and the experiencing coming together under understanding, right?
Mm,
So do how do I know if I'm real? Okay, here's life. Experience that. And now you try to deny your own life. I can't deny experience. Even if I die right now, I'm still experiencing death. And if I'm after and I'm to an afterlife, well, then I'm experiencing after who I am, my true, purest form, without all the things, is just pure experience. It's just pure experience happening. Then it takes shape into what's happening. And that's when all this starts to
Mm.
pop up in
And when
front of
you
me.
and when you say who I am is what is happening, how is your experience to what is happening? How do you
Mm,
experience this?
I don't. It just does.
So how do you then offer this as experience to someone else?
Oh, I would never, I don't offer it. Like, I wouldn't be like, here, take this piece of experience. I would be like, hey, if there's a certain path that you want to experience, I'll go inside myself and I'll experience it. And I'll become a reflection for you that if you so choose to mirror, you can then experience also. So I don't hand anything, I don't give anything, I don't try and guide someone. I have clients that are like suicidal, depressive, all these things. Instead of being like, well, eat some healthier food, maybe go exercise, go do, I don't do that because no one wants to be talked at.
Mm,
Instead, I go straight to myself, inside myself, where I know they are. I know where they are inside me because I have that experience. So I go back into my own experience where I'm sad. And then I'm having empathy with this, real empathy, because I'm still experiencing my own sadness. So I'm there, I'm inside myself, and I'm saying, okay, how can I get myself out of this? I've done it
mm,
before. And so I start guiding myself out of whatever the experience is. If it's sadness, just for this example, I guide myself out of my sadness in front of them as a mirror. So then they can so choose, because we all have the freedom to choose. They can say, no. I want to be sad because some of us do, and some of us want to be sad. They want to experience that.
mm,
But then the ones that are like, I've been sad so long, or I've been in pain so long, I'm stuck and I don't want to be here and I don't know how to get out. I say, okay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And then I find them inside myself and I say, there you are. If you want to walk out, we can walk out together. I'll hold your hand. You're not alone. I know what this feels like, and I'm here with you. And then it'll say, okay, thank you. And then we get up, we hold hands, and then we walk out of that pain together. And then they now have the tool that if they ever come back into that pain again, they know how to get out.
mm. And so just so I understand, so you are actually helping them create a visual experience in a meditative inside of them, right? So you're helping them, guide them to use their imagination to create the experience where inside of them you hold hands together and then you walk out of the pain. Is that right?
I think we all exist somewhere. Like you and me, we both exist in this physical plane. That's provable with physical things, but I do believe we exist on, say, an emotional plane or a spiritual plane. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the same way physically that I can travel to you in the physical world, I can travel to you in the emotional world or the spiritual
Mm.
world. And so wherever your pain is, I go inside my emotional realm and I meet you there. And then I'm just walking out. So I'm in my pain and as I'm walking, I'm shifting my pain into say, let's love. And so I'm not just going, I don't just jump to jump. I'm guiding, I'm walking myself out. And so they just have someone next to them to walk out with. That's it.
Mm.
I don't do any work for no one. I just
Yeah.
keep doing it for myself in front of someone.
Got it, got it. That's totally really cool, by the way. But can you tell me the difference? Because you see, like, how do you experience your emotional processing in such case versus your spiritual processing? What is the difference? Is the texture, what is the quality of the both?
Mhm. Hmm.
Because in your mind, and this is all happening in your mind, right? Yes, we can
Hmm.
tell I'm now in emotional realm, but at the same time now 5 minutes later, I can be in a spiritual realm, in a physical, in an energetic realm. So how do you differentiate between, and you obviously, once you're there, you stay there, right? So you're there, you're committed to that definition, that experience of being in emotional realm. But how do you change the qualities between these realms inside of you?
I don't. I think all realms are an exact replica. So they all fundamentally work all the exact same way.
Mm,
So like if you say, how do I hold hands with you in person? How do I hold hands with you emotionally? Okay, wherever the emotional realm is, I have an emotional body. You can say it's the exact same shape if you want. If if like you need to, like there's this desperate need to make unthings things, then you can just replicate the shape of your body, but an emotional shape of the body, right? Or a
mm,
spiritual shape. Like spiritual is just is the most purest form of like the closest thing you can say is nothingness, but it's everythingness,
mm,
right? It's all the things that could ever be all condensed. That's everything. That's what spirit would be. But I just want to experience a section of that. And so then I zoom in on the universe all the way until I open up my eyes and I'm just me.
mm,
I'm the macro and the micro happening at the exact same time. And all the levels of law, they work fundamentally on all of them. So if I'm gonna go somewhere emotionally, there's you can imagine emotional body if you want, but it's not a real body. It's
mm,
not like that. It's an emotional thing. So it's like we only want or we try to accept things physically because it's the physical world is so surface level that we're not willing to go anything deeper. So it's like, what's at the bottom of the ocean? Can you tell me? I'm not willing to go swimming. So like
mhm,
tell me what's really down there. Tell me what it really feels like. Tell me. And then it's like you'd have to go down there. I will go with you if you want. But if you really want to know, right, you're gonna have to go inside. And just the people that are asking these questions that are trying to bring things that are deeper than the surface to the surface are just the ones that are really scared to see how deep they really are, to know
mm,
how powerful they really are. And it's not the intensity of power. What hurts is the ego, is the fact that I've been keeping myself this shallow for this long, and I was this powerful for that long. That hurts my ego.
mm,
How could I have done that to myself? How could have I it, imagine how you got access to $1 billion and then you chose to be homeless, but you just didn't know you had access to all that. And then you're just like, why would I choose to be in pain? Why would I choose to be homeless? Why would I? Because you're just
mm,
scared to be that person. You're scared to be that side of you, that to experience that. That's all that is. But you have to
mm,
experience it emotionally. You have to go there, right? Or spiritually. You have to, because I don't know if you ask anyone that's spiritual, I've never heard someone that's spiritual be like, you need to be more external. You need more things. You need more cars and you need more money to be more spiritual. They're always like, take away the things, be less surface. When you start taking away the surface things, you're going to try and replace that sensation with something. And that sensation that you're replacing it with is yourself. So then you take away all these external things and you're just in a room and it's just you. And you're like, well, then you start thinking and then you start going into your mind. You're like, oh, wow, this is a whole different world inside my mind. And then you do the same thing there. You're like, I'm going to let go of the mind. Oh, now I'm in my heart. Wow, this is I can, and then you let go of that. And then you go to, it's
mm,
all the realms are the exact same. Fundamentally, they work the same, but you just
mm.
have to experience it to know.
To give it a try.
Give it
To
a
give it a
try,
try.
yeah.
And what's really interesting is that it's all processed through the mind,
Mm.
right? As if that's like it's all processed through the mind. This level, that level, this experience, that experience, this wording, this imagination, this creation, this meditation, it's all coming through the mind. So yeah, I really love how you explained earlier when you zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, and you leave the universe, almost like you go to the edge, though we don't know where the edge is, the ending, like at the cliff of the universe, at the end of the cosmos, and you kind of sip on a coffee there. And the further you go, the smaller the entire universe becomes, so condensed. And then while you're having a coffee at the edge, you're literally looking at the tiny little compressed everything. And then you want to give it love. That
Mm.
that just that idea came through your mind.
Mm.
And then out of that idea, as a product of your mind, non-physical product, non-material product, your heart and your energy ended up coming up with openness to, wow, I have this much space to love the entire universe, including
Mm.
all these little spots and dots and problems and emotions and people. I can love not only you in front of me, I can love entire Earth and galaxy and everybody, whoever is alive right now at this moment. Wow. And I can choose through your mind to shoot this energy out or just experience it. But what you're really pointing out is like, if you were just to cut off the mind from the whole process, there's nothing there.
I would say everything is there.
Yeah, there's both, right? So
The
nothing
mind
is everything.
loves to filter. Like it needs filters. Like as soon as I introduce a word, I, everything becomes filtered through the I. So to me, like your I is identity. It's as soon as before, let's say before the mind. Let's just imagine there's some kind of space before the mind. What the mind is made out of is of this resource, right? You can call that spiritual resource or just energy. Doesn't whatever you want, because even energy is still too tangible, right?
Hmm.
We're gonna like, okay, energy. Okay, you mean like electricity, or then the mind starts going off. Like the mind thinks that everything is perceived through the mind, but everything is filtered through the mind. So the spirit or the soul or God or whatever it is, it's too vast to experience, right? And so what happens is that it funnels it through something. Through my mind is this tiny little, this little brain. Like when I say I know something, the only thing I know is that I don't know. And I'm not even sure that. Like I just know enough to pretend that I know something. And the moment that I
I
think I
love
really
it.
know something, I let it go and I be like, I don't actually know. Because the moment that I know it, I'm then confined to that thing. That's it. When I know
Hmm.
something, I don't have space for anything else. I box myself in. But
Hmm.
that's wonderful because now I'm experiencing whatever that knowing is for that
Hmm.
time. And then eventually I feel cramped and I want to experience something else. And so then I I unknow that or I bring in things of uncertainty, questions, things like that to make a different knowing. So
Hmm.
anything that's conceived within the mind is confined. The mind is a box. And I'm putting something that's so expansive that it doesn't fit in the mind. Not all of it, so little bits of it. So then when I come into some understanding about the universe or about my spiritual or spirituality or my soul, I'm only getting a fraction of knowing of what it is. And then my brain is just like, oh, I got it. I know exactly what it is. And then life just has a way of being like, you don't know. Here's another thing. And I'm like, oh, that last thing was the wrong thing. Now I get this is the new right thing. And then it's like, here's another one. And it keeps doing that because it's infinite and my mind is finite. But that's the purpose of the mind. So the your soul or the universe, whatever it is, it's infinite. And because it's so expansive, um, it doesn't get to have like meaning. It doesn't need meaning. Doesn't have any purpose. It just is. That's it. Its sole purpose is just to be, not be something. It's just in a constant state of being, and it'll never be anything other than that. And
Mm.
then my mind then uses that, right, to make something. Okay, now what am I going to be? So the state of being is there. Then I take that and I put that being into a what, which is filtered through the mind. The mind creates all the whats. So when you perceive something, right? Yes, it's all processed, it's all filtered, it's all going through the mind. But before the mind is getting its resource from someone else. The mind
Mm.
is not the expansive, infinite energies, whatever you want to call it. Like even these words are still simulations of the mind, like they're stimulants, right? And so the mind, this is where the mind's going to do its thing. The mind's going to be like, well, I have access to these amount of words, and so therefore I can maneuver this person's brain. If some people don't have a great diction, right? But that this person might have access to 5,000 words. This person might
Mm.
have access to like 30,000. Oh, I'm really educated and I'm really whatever. And then, but like, then you'll notice that like the gurus or the spiritual, they barely use any words.
Yeah, they simplify a lot.
They take away, they take away, they take away, and use less mind, less mind, less mind. So
Mm.
it's getting you not out of the mind, but to filter less and less and less so that what is in the space, it's the closest you can get to the idea of space of, because when you're in a room, like if you're, let's do some, let's just have fun, right? You and me, you're in your own little room, okay? There's no doors, there's no windows, just wall, wall, ceiling, floor, no way in, no way out. You're gonna do what every single person is gonna do. You're gonna just be there for a while and be like, okay, start hitting on the walls, trying to escape, and then eventually like, oh, like I can't escape. So what do? You escape. You go into your mind, and because you don't want to live in this box, you create a reality inside your mind that's so freaking real that that's what all this is right here. You're literally let's just pretend a giant God brain that's stuck in a box that's so freaking powerful that it went into its own consciousness and created the universe. We're just have this is what this is. This is a
Mm.
divine intelligence having fun with itself because there's nothing else. There's
Mm.
nothing else other than itself, right? So even if you want to look at it like, okay, like physically, the universe, if it's a physical thing from our, I don't know, this point in time of being, I don't know. But as far as I do know, there's nothing outside of the universe. So the universe doesn't get resources from something outside of itself. Everything that could ever need is within the universe, and that's infinitely expansive, right? So anything that could ever be is within this brain, or you can call it the universe. And the universe is so powerful. This God brain is so powerful, but it's the only brain. So it's the total consciousness. And then it's like, well, there's nothing outside of me. This is pretty boring. I'm going to create everything. And so it did. And it created this little conversation here. And if
Mm.
if if we like we both went back to where we're, if you, whatever you want to call it, like go back to your true essence, it we wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be you and me. It would be it. It would be just a state of being. And I wouldn't need I, and you wouldn't need I. We wouldn't need we. There would be no need for anything. It'd just be a constant state of being. But then that's all there is. And so, and so it filters, it goes into itself, and it creates meaning. So then when we use words in our brain and our mind, its purpose is to create meaning from what has no meaning. So
Mm.
everything you say, completely right. Also completely wrong. Everything I say, completely right, but completely wrong. And that's the fun. I'm not trying to prove you wrong in whatever you have to say, right? What good is that to me? I already know everything Mario could ever know.
You know what crossed my mind, which is I 100% agree with what you just said. Everything is right and everything is wrong. It's equally one or the other way, whatever that you make of it, right? But what crossed my mind, I was like, oh my God, how boring it would be if we just were nothing. I was like, oh my God, like like like, and I wasn't even afraid of it. It just crossed my mind, this idea of not being able to speak and exchange the energies, not being able
Mm,
to debate and be creative about it, and really just edge the universe as edges. you
mhm.
you kind of just like concise the entire universe into a little mini brain that has the end. And I was like, and then I was like, but I want more brains. Right? More universes, and I don't want it to end because infinity, which interesting is like we almost like we get like seduced by the aliveness and
Mm,
aliveness and the life itself, because in the end of the day, yeah, we can't prove anything right or wrong, really.
mhm,
And I hope humanity, us, like us earthlings, okay, humans who have capacity to exchange and have
I
words.
got you.
Oh damn it, we have words to talk, yeah. No, damn it. But I hope we can get to a point where we really don't we don't give each other unsolicited advice, or almost like we don't even claim something as a truth, because just the fact that I have a name that I can say I am experiencing this, it does not mean that it's your truth whatsoever. As because I'm unique to myself and nobody else configures like I do. You do you, I do me. It's like total universal uniqueness, right? So we can't replicate
Mm,
this. And but that's what teaches us acceptance, to see the other and to use our senses, not only to speak, but also to hear, and also to expand together with a different perspective for someone else who experiences it completely different. And you speak of your coaching practice, it's almost like, and the gurus that are speaking, different language, but simplified guru way, it's not really the only way to get to that state. It's almost like, but why not have a thought that brings the sense of equality across all of us? That we all have the same exact capacity, because you and I are actually sharing this moment together at the same time. And you and I
mm,
both happen to be equipped with exact same tools, you know? Just different experiences and just
mm,
different perspectives, and both are right and both are wrong.
mm,
So it's really interesting to be almost like there's this sense of falling in love with the universe, universal uniqueness and experience of what is. And without a question, we're all in love with experience of life. Without a question, there's this like, I want more. And if we didn't want and desired more of it, because it felt so beautified and almost like felt had this quality of aliveness in us, we probably wouldn't be, right, even
we'd be
evolved
pretty
at
bored.
this point. Yeah. So if I were to take my mind out, just experience would be so nothing. Right? Like, I don't
There
know.
wouldn't be a need though,
We
right?
would, well, we
There
wouldn't
wouldn't
exist
be,
then.
we would only exist. But that's the thing. What we're existing, that can change. There would be
Yeah.
only existence, right? We define existence or life or our spirit or, through things, through the difference. Like so I only know myself based on the reflection of something in front of me. But then I take that away. What am I? Who am I? But then you take away those questions, then what's left? And
Yeah.
if you take away some, and just keep taking everything away,
Mhm.
see what's there in the end. You cannot take away the one thing that truly is, and that's just pure experience, not
Mhm.
experiencing. Because experiencing, there's a movement there between something. Just experience. I can't not experience, but I can shift in and out what it is that I want to experience. So
Mm.
the resource that I keep talking about, that's pure experience, pure spiritual beingness. Even the word spiritual doesn't do justice. It's just another filter that we add on to try and make something tangible that's not tangible. But where
Mhm.
the pure experience, it's just happening, it just is. It's in a constant state of being, nothing more, nothing less.
Mm.
The great thing is that you can make everything from that. Everything that you could ever need, want, desire, whatever exists within inside that. And you make things from it, in it, with it, into whatever. Like, I'm looking at you right now and I'm like, wow, you made this beautiful human earthling being. You done this with your hair and you got the eyebrows and the nose too. Me too. You see, oh, look at my, or look what I did with my hair. And then we just, you took the infiniteness and this is what you made. I did the same thing. This is what I made. And then it's just through mutual appreciation. It's like, oh, because if we all had to make the exact same thing, then just humor me here. Do you have any brothers, sisters?
Mhm. Both.
How many?
Two.
Two? So it's three of you?
Mhm.
Okay, so okay, my dad wasn't in the picture, and but that's not the point for this. Okay, I just want us all to just a picture. We're in a living room with our mom, our dad, ourselves, and if there's siblings there, wonderful. Now, there's a couch, and everyone wants to watch television. Okay, now the dad goes and sits on the right side of the couch. Now the mother wants to sit on the right side of the couch, so now she has to sit on his lap. And now I want to sit on the right side of the couch. So now I'm sitting on her lap. And now my sister's sitting on my lap. And my brother is sitting on her lap. How's my dad going to see the TV? How's the mom going to see it? So if we all want to be the same person experiencing the same thing, we're going to start overlapping on top of each other. And I would never actually get to experience myself.
Mm.
Because then a stacking of cells of the exact same self start happening. All right. And then it just starts creating this blurry picture. That's it.
Mhm.
If I put a window in front of a window in front of, even though it's clear, eventually it's going to become foggy by the stacking. So I don't want you to make the exact same me, but I would like for you to make something similar of some sort of similarity where there's an ability to connect. And then, because you can even connect through what's not the same, right? You could be like, well, your thought is so different than mine. That's intriguing. So
And what
then
do you mean
even
ability? So you said something. I want you to make something similar. Similar to what?
to whatever I construct. So we're both using, you can call just the pureness, just pure energy, your soul.
Okay.
Let's say we both have a starter pack and and it's a soul, but the soul, your pack is not different from mine, same resources, but what you make from it is infinite. So
So what?
you just so happen to make something of planet Earth and all these things. It looks really similar to mine, right? Trees look the same,
Oh, I
but
see. I see. I was like, oh, because I lost you for a minute. It was almost like when the two. Okay, when we are in it together, I want you to recreate similar experience that I have, rather than your own unique experience of it.
just because if you're on planet Mars and on planet Earth, I'm not gonna get to talk to you. So, but if you create Earth and I'm Earth and it's similar enough, and if you want to call it frequencies or whatever the word is for you, then we're
Mm,
close enough in vicinity, right, of whatever this conscious space is, if you want to call it. Because if it's the universe and it's really expansive, you could be vibrating all the way over here. I'm vibrating all the way over here. I just don't want to be the only one in the universe that's in this section of the universe. There's no stars, there's no nothing. I'm floating around and nothing. Because then
mm,
that's
mm.
that's freaking boring, right?
Yeah,
So
and watch
I,
this, how do you mind if I just interrupt? Because there's like, this is so good. You know how you just layer down the entire family and then the one couldn't see. What's
Mhm,
interesting is that I don't want to be alone sitting in the universe of nothing. I will die. I actually need that connection. I need, in order for me to feel alive, I need to be able to exchange, connect.
mhm.
That's that being seen, being validated, that we really claim. It's so trendy nowadays to speak of it because it's a new concept, right? So it's very much okay. I want to be seen. I want to feel safe. I want to be validated. Beautiful concept, beautiful qualities. But you can't do it
Mhm.
alone. You can't even do it with yourself. And it's lonely, right? So it's like you need this exchange of like to likeness. And what you just said, we need to meet at some level. And we need
In the
to meet
same room, like at least
in
one
the
person
same
be
room.
on this side of the couch, one person be on this side of the couch, one of you could be sitting on the floor, and we're all in the same vicinity of experience, not the exact experience. I don't want that because then we stack and I don't get to experience myself. I
Yes.
want you to be in the same vicinity, room, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Let me give you this example. Have you probably met someone who said, I feel so lonely in a group of people. I'm sitting here with a group of friends. Really good point because we're coming back to the
Yeah.
exact same thing. It's like, I love you. It's everybody's here doing the same thing,
Mm,
workshops, whatever, programs, but yet I feel so lonely. And I cannot get my mind to change itself out. And then you have these pockets of people that feel connected on this level, on that level, on
mm,
this level. And then these pockets, scientifically called morphogenetic morphogenetic fields, right? So when we enter into the like mind of thinking, enter into the
okay.
same consciousness, suddenly everybody's talking about being pregnant, right? Or suddenly everybody loves hot color, pink color. Somehow you and I now are entering into scientifically into the space of consciousness. It's a pocket, little mini pocket where you and I understand each other on the exact same level, right?
Mm,
So we can exchange so deep, so fast without getting lost because we're pouring out or pouring in into this field. But there are
mm,
people, and I just experienced this last weekend, just came back from it. When you simply say, I feel so lonely, yes, it's a mindset, but it's also something where nothing shifts them to come into one of those offerings in the same exact room full of 50 people. And not only one field, you have many fields to enter, but yet there's the sense of loneliness. And when expressed, it's not just a concept of feeling lonely, it's much primal. It's
mm,
deep, deep down into it. And this is where the connected, how it feels lonely in a group of people, that's how that love for experience also exists at this almost like in the same intensity. But I
mm,
want to experience the expansion. And not only in the body and the mind, I want to experience what it feels to be conscious and unconscious and to have possibilities and have all these qualities. I want to play with the tools that I'm gifted now in this right moment. The same way it's the same strong pull. What are
mm.
your thoughts about it?
How does a fish know it's in water? It doesn't unless there's air or land. So like when I because I've been there, I ding ding ding. I've been in a room with and I get
Mm,
exhausted at that time. I used to be like everyone's happy and they're exciting and they're partying, everyone's smiling, and I'm trying to do that. And I'm really, really trying to do that. I'm trying to be happy. But then I was like inside, I was like, oh my God, I'm miserable and lonely. Like
yeah.
so then I separated myself from the party. I left, right? I wouldn't know like the depth of connect. Oh, actually, I like to say I wouldn't know the height of love and connection and support if I didn't know the depth of my own soul and loneliness. Right. So
Mm,
I've been in the depths of just me. And so I know what that's like. And so when I'm out with someone, and like and there, if there's empathy, there's compassion, or whatever it is, there's many tools for us to experience connection. But when I'm connecting, I have that stark contrast. It's a massive difference in contrast, and it adds value to the connection now. Because when I'm
Mm.
connecting with you, right, I'm connecting with you from a place that is far deeper than myself. When we first started this whole conversation, I said those questions that you ask are not just questions. There's a depth of you that you've experienced that you put into the words and then you offer them to me. That's your question. And so then the connection that I'm having right now, let's say with you or with someone that I really care about, it's met by the depth of experience that I have behind it that
Mm.
goes into the connection. So I'm giving this much of me. So it's the perception that I'm lonely, right? Because when I go so far into myself, I'm with myself, no one else. And that's when I really get to experience me
Mhm.
apart from someone else. That's a gift. Your loneliness is a gift. Alone just means you're all one. There's no one else. It's just all you. You're all one right now. So you're actually complete. You're whole, all by
Mm.
yourself. And you get to that place where you're there with yourself. You spend enough time with yourself. Then you start looking at yourself and you say, I love you. I see you. I feel you. I hear you. I'm experiencing you. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to stay with you. I understand all this. And then it starts feeling the connection of what you're about to make with the world, but with
Mm.
yourself first. And now you understand why you connect with people on a massive level. Now you understand why everyone wants to feel seen, why everyone wants to feel heard, why everyone wants to feel loved. Because at the foundation, they're not doing it. But when they go
Mm.
back and it's just all one person, it's just you in a room, a dark room by yourself, you're crying, whatever it is. And you look at yourself and you say, I know you're crying. I see you crying. That acknowledgement right there, that recognition of yourself. I see that emotion. That emotion goes, wow, finally someone's paying attention to me. And when you spend enough time with that, it's not lonely anymore. You're not
Mm.
lonely. You're full there. And then you start building a relationship up from there, and you become so freaking full that it's just radiating outwards from you. And the people around you are being like, wow, how do you love yourself so much? Like, how do you get over those negative thoughts? How do you tell yourself you're beautiful? Like, how do you love yourself? I don't understand it. And then you
Mm.
just say, hey, I went, I was lonely, just like you. I spent time with just myself. And I loved that space, that
Mm.
person that was just there, just me. And I built up a relationship from the ground. And now the relationships that I have from that, right? I don't have relationships that pull anything from me. There aren't people that are like, I need something from you because I'm
Mm.
reflecting a fullness to all the other people. And they're like, oh, that exists inside me too. Okay, how do I do that? And then they start doing it. And then eventually we're all gonna come home. We're all gonna come home to this nice, like I said, it just you asked me earlier how I was feeling, and I'm not feeling anything other than just this moment right now with you. And it just feels like warm water. It
Mm.
doesn't feel separate from me, but it feels really nice to me.
Mm.
That's what that's how I would that's how I would
It's
respond to that.
beautiful. It's beautiful. And I want to just acknowledge this was such a powerful conversation of creation to me. And I experienced it as, yeah, the words are lacking when such experience becomes eye-opening in many ways that are not tangible, untangible. And when I get to a space myself where I can no longer explain it,
Mhm.
I almost feel like I push the boundaries of myself. That's the sensation that I have in the feeling. And you remember
Mhm.
how I was telling you, um, by the way, it's an hour and a half more that just passed. of us talking.
Stop.
So we are talking for 2 hours, and
Mhm,
which is so powerful to me.
mhm,
Powerful because this quality of intimate talk where we
mhm,
don't identify with anything that we said. We don't hold anything as true or false. We don't argue. We're not in a duality that we're battling against. We're actually
mhm,
in a full support of the creation. As if we just played our role for the space for something else to evolve and create itself on its own. And I wanted to ask you as a last question, and I know, this was 1 hour plan, but it turns out to be two, and I was late for an hour, so 3 hours technically of your time. Oh my God. But I want to ask you a last question, Mario. The sense of contribution is like what we want to fight for. There's this like sense of, yes, we can eliminate the thoughts and change everything in our minds. And we can acknowledge that we have a lot of tools to use now to our capacity and where we came from and maybe where we're going because we really don't know. It's real, it's not real. We can add all these like
mhm,
definitions or just contexts or context, right? But the sense of contribution in the reality, in this moment of you and me sharing this together, is so potent for, I feel, a lot of it to change. Because what my contribution, personal contribution to this 3 hour of our time, 3 hour of time in total, was total surrender and total
mhm,
pouring of the possibilities of us as superhumans, us as super consciousness, us as you name it, the God, the everything, the nothing. It was such a devotion and allurement to surrender everything that there is from me for just this 3 hour of conceptual time. And
mhm,
I don't know what will come out of this. I don't know what will product be of this time. But
mhm,
honestly, it doesn't matter. What matters is the total experience of freedom,
mhm,
surrender, nothingness, and yet playfulness.
mhm.
How did you experience? What do you want to say about the just like this total? I mean, it couldn't be weirder. The way we met and how we connected, it's like totally out of left field. And I take it as it was a gift gifted to us for us to play with. It
Mhm,
was a
mhm.
wild ride.
I think that's the first thing I'd like to say is mm, it's like just like a sensation of the closest word is gratitude, right? And that obviously doesn't really justify, like gratitude doesn't justify gratitude when you're really feeling it. It's not the, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the immersion of the feeling happening. All right, that's gratitude, is the sensation of it. Lots of people say thank you, but the energy or the life or the experience behind it is not there. So for me, I like this. So I'm gonna say this to you and to you watching and everyone else that's watching. I'm grateful right now for you in this moment. Not because you're here specifically, but because of all the life that you've had to live in order to be here right now in front of my eyes, experiencing this moment with me. I know Mario. I know Mario on a very deep and intimate level. I've felt every single sacrifice that he's ever had to make. And there's so many moments that I did not know that I was gonna make it out of, but somehow I did. And I'm here right now. And so that means I had to go through those things just to experience you. And I can only imagine that you've had to go through and make some sacrifices, real life sacrifices, real experiences, real pain, real happiness. You've had to let go of happy moments, painful moments you've had to really feel just to be here with me. So I want to acknowledge and say that I'm grateful for everything that you've ever had to experience to be here with me, because there is no greater honor than that, than the life that was
Mm,
lived behind the person that's in front of me right now. So thank you.
beautiful. Wow. Holy moly.
Mm,
This is beautiful. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
You are so beautiful. Everything about you is beaming, it's radiant, it's if you weren't you, I probably wouldn't be me and we wouldn't be here. So
100% agree. And you have this like really grounded energy about you, which I think it's like,
mm,
we can fly off, but almost like we can experiential in a many different elements at the same time. So pretty awesome, really cool. And also daring. Like you are not afraid to go as far as the end of the universe and make it small enough for us to imagine 50,000 more universes, right? So it's like so
mm,
wild. You're a wild ride, at the same time very grounded. I want to really thank you. Now, as a human being, as with the mind and the ego, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. I think this was
wow.
so beautiful, and I can't wait to continue and cross paths again.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything that's gonna come from this. I'm excited for everyone for whatever comes after this also. I am just also really grateful. So with that being said, um, I love you.
Hmm.
I love you watching, and I love everyone before and after that doesn't watch this, that aren't watching this, and may never watch it. I love all of you.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, till next time. Thank you,
Bye.
Mario. Ciao.